Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Terminator lab. This is the video number 39. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been still working on how to deploy Windows 10 using the latest Microsoft deployment toolkit version with the help of Windows Deployment Services role feature in Windows Server. Okay, so we have prepared everything. We have been working for too many videos on how to prepare this environment to deploy Windows 10. We have the last video get to the MDT or begin working with the MDT to create 3 capture task sequence to capture Windows 10, to capture Windows 10 LTSC, and to capture Windows Server 2022 image. These Windows images will also we will install on these operating systems different programs. So we are taking an image of the operating system with additional common software that are frequently used on all of these operating systems. So for example, we are installing PowerShell with Windows 10 and Windows Server. Of course, we are installing CMTrace tool. This is for logging purposes or to view logging files. We are installing NetFrame and a lot of common programs that are widely used on these operating systems and are needed actually. So I have prepared the task. We have discussed the task and its details. So in this video we'll begin the real process. We will see how when we create a virtual machine and begin booting it, how the MDT and the WDS will install the operating system, then install the programs silently, then take an image. Of course, before taking an image, we'll make sysprep. So all of this we will see it practically today. But before that, we need to see a graph that will emphasize or will explain how this process will be done. Okay, this is SKNHQMF01. This is a very important server. Uh, on it, there is different roles. For example, this is the MDT server, this is the WDS server, this is the DHCP server, this is the WSOS server, this is the file server. So this is a very critical server in the network. Okay, so this is a client that its hard disk doesn't contain any operating system. When you power it on, the first thing it will try to detect if there is any operating system on the hard disk, and if it fails to do that, it will go to the second available thing, or the second option is try to boot from a CD-ROM or a DVD. Uh, 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 this process is done because the PC will think that it needs to boot from a CD or a USB to install an operating system. If this phase also failed, it will choose the third option, is to boot from network, okay, to see if it can communicate with a server to install its operating system. So the third option is what we are talking about. It will try to boot from the network through a small operating system called Pixie Boot. This is a small operating system. It will try to use it to boot and search the network for the server that will be responsible for allowing it to install an operating system. It try to search for this server. So the Pixie Boot server or the Pixie Boot mode will try to search for 192.168.1.15. It will search. This is the WDS server or the Windows deployment server. It will try to seek or try to search or to find this server. Once it reached it, it should try to communicate with it. How we can communicate, or how this client will communicate with this server, it should take an IP address from the DHCP server, which is currently also the same server. So this is the WS and the DHCP. So it will communicate with the DHCP server, it will take an IP address, then it will try to communicate with the WDS. Once it communicates with the WDS, it will redirect it to go and take the boot image. Okay, so once it communicates with the WDS, here it is, it will take the boot image. This boot image will be used to help it to connect to the Microsoft deployment toolkit folders or Microsoft deployment folders, which is the capture share. This is the folder that will contain the Windows operating system sources or ISO image, and the source of the programs that we need to install. For example, the source of the program of PowerShell, exe file or MSI file. So this is the folder that contain all of the things we will need to install Windows and the different programs. So after it reaches this folder, okay, through the boot image, it will begin install Windows, then it will install programs, then make sysprep, and finally capture image, and then at the end it will shut down the VM. Okay, and then the capture image will be saved to the capture share folder capture. Remember, we have two folders in the MDT, one for the capture process and one for the deployment process. Okay, so this after it goes to this folder and begin processing this or making this process is done through the task sequence. This is the task that you have created earlier in the video or the previous video. The task is named capture Windows 10 with programs, and this is the task ID, okay, or its unique ID. It will go to the capture share folder and it will begin working or doing this process based on the task sequence that we had created earlier in the MDT. And at the end, we'll have a workstation that has already sysprepped, and an image was captured for the workstation with all of the programs and Windows 10 tweaks. So this is simply the process. Okay, this is the process. It will begin from this PC and all of the things trying to communicate with different servers, and then communicate with the MDT, and then at the end we will have the PC with it is sysprepped and we have an image. Okay, so this is the process. Okay, so we need to go and see how this process is done practically. So let's see and begin our video. So here we go, let's open that one. So the first thing we need to see here, that this is the first thing when you create uh, and virtual machine, it try to reach or try to see if its hard disk contains an operating system. If it fails, it will go to the CD or DVD to see if there is any Windows operating system ISO image is inserted in a USB or DVD. And if it doesn't see any operating system on a USB or DVD, it will search the network. So this is the third phase. Okay, let's go there and see. Here we can see that it had already searched, if you can see here, it already searched and find our server, which is 192.168.115. This is our WDS, and this is the name, or I think this is the boot image. Okay, this is the boot image it tried to use. Okay, and then it asks you to press F12 to begin communicating with this server. But before, if you try to press F12, first thing it needs to get an IP address and then communicate with this server. So currently this workstation doesn't have any IP address. To communicate with this server, it should take an IP address from the same range. So for example, it will take 192.168.1.8, for example, so it can communicate with the WDS server. So we need to press F12. Then we can see here that it was communicated. It will begin start using DHCP, so it communicated with the DHCP, and then it will begin communicating with the WDS. So this is the first thing, and then it will try to boot. Okay, now it will boot through the WDS. Now it is loading the boot image. This is the first thing we need to see here. It will load this boot image. Remember that we have done this in the previous video. This is the boot image it will use. It will boot from the location, or this is the boot image in C, or this is an MDT. It is located, this boot image, it is in the capture share folder in the boot folder. Okay, so this is it. This is the boot image, the location of the boot image, and it will load it. Okay, so now it will take a couple of seconds because this takes some time. Just wait a moment. Here we can see it will begin loading the image. Okay, we can go there. Okay, and it will take some time. Then it will begin loading, or here we can see that this is the Windows 11 icon or Windows logo for the Windows 11, because this is the MDT and ADK related to the Windows 11 operating system. So it will take some time, and then what is the first thing we need to see, or what is the first window that will appear for us? Let's see. First, it will take a little bit of time, and then if we can go here, we can see the first thing we will encounter. Remember that the first thing we should encounter, wait for a moment. Here we will see the first thing, very strange thing. If you are working with MDT, you will find some differences, okay, or something strange. The first thing we will encounter is the background, but let me first wait and show you what I mean by that. If we go a little bit like this, okay, here we can see the first thing is the background of the MDT. This is not the default background for the MDT process. The default image or the background for the MDT, it is this one. Let me show you all. Here you will see that this is the default image. This is Microsoft Deployment Toolkit and gray image or a gray color, okay? And the first thing you should encounter is this window. This window will ask you to provide or this will ask you to provide it with the folder that contains the ISO image of the Windows and the programs that will be installed. Okay, and it will ask you for a username and a password to ask to access this folder. This folder, it is in a domain environment, so you need to provide it with an Active Directory username that can access this folder that contains the Windows operating system and the programs. This is already defined in the bootstrap.ini. Remember, we have done the setting for the bootstrap.ini, so all of these are already provided for the MDT. You will not encounter this window, okay, because this line called skip BBB welcome, so this line will skip this window, and not only skip it, it already will fill the blanks in this section. You have already see the username will be filled here, the user password will be filled here, the domain will be filled here, and the folder will be filled at the end. So we will not encounter this window. So the first thing you will encounter is the BBD welcome screen, and it should appear if you didn't configure the bootstrap.ini to skip it. But yes, and we are doing this already in our solution, so you will not encounter this window. And we can see here that the background, it is different, because remember, in the beginning of the lab we have already changed this background to reflect our company logo or our company background. So this is another change that we will see here. So the first thing that we will begin with is the bootstrap.ini. It will begin processed, and then after that we will go to the custom setting.ini. So we can see here, this is so we'll begin with the bootstrap, then we will go to the custom setting. Sorry guys, this is the custom setting.ini. This custom setting.ini will answer some questions, or will fill some data on behalf of you. So in the process of installation of Windows, you will not be asked to provide, for example, the keyboard, the time zone. You will not be asked to provide the WSOS server link. Okay, the client will know how to communicate with the WSOS server and get the Windows updates. You will not provide a password for your local administrator on the machine. All of this will be processed, and it will be answered on behalf of you automatically through the custom setting.ini. So a part of this custom setting.ini will work, okay, and then after that you will begin, or we will begin working with, let's go here, we'll begin working with the task sequence. Okay, here we'll begin working with task sequence. So the first thing is the bootstrap, then the custom setting, a part of it will be processed, and then we'll begin working with the capture task sequence. And at the end, what will happen? At the end, we will see that the custom setting.ini will do a shutdown process. So after we finish the last line in the capture task sequence, which is basically we will make a sysprep, the machine will reboot, and then uh, a capture will be done, and at the end the custom setting.ini will guide the machine to shut down. Okay, so this is basically the process. So let's continue with the video and see what will happen now if we go further like this. Okay, the first thing we can see is processing bootstrap setting. This is the first thing. It will begin processing the bootstrap. It will see the bootstrap data, which contains a lot of things, as we have said before. So it will not give you the welcome BBD screen. This is the one that we were talking about. Okay, this one. Okay, this one. It will not encounter. You will not encounter it. So it begin process it. Okay, and let's see what will happen after that. So after processing the bootstrap setting, you need to go and process the custom setting.ini. And basically the custom setting.ini will process a lot of things automatically. It will answer, or it will do a lot of things for you automatically, except two things. You need to choose the task sequence that you will use, or the task sequence that you will implement, because we have three capture task sequence. You need to choose a task sequence and then press next. So you do two things. You need to choose a task and then click next. So this is the thing, or this the only thing that you will choose, or you will, or the process that you will do. Everything except that will be done automatically for you. So this here, we will see it will begin processing the custom setting.ini. If you wait for a couple of seconds, we will see that you will begin processing the custom setting.ini. Okay, so wait for a moment here, processing custom setting.ini, and then you will be given one thing. The custom setting, as I said before, has already everything configured. It will do everything. Okay, we will only need to choose the task. Okay, so let's see now the first thing that you will be asked for. Okay, so here it's processing all of the setting in the custom setting.ini. So it will take a little bit of time. You can wait for a couple of minutes. By the way, there is some delay and some slowness in the performance of the VM, because I didn't give it a lot of hardware resources, because my host or my laptop has very limited hardware. Okay, so it will take some time. But after finishing that, if you wait for a couple of seconds, the first thing you will encounter now after processing the custom setting.ini, you will see here, just a moment guys, we need to go further. So after that, you will be encountered with a window. Through it, you will choose a task. Okay, so this is the first thing you will encounter. Let's wait for a moment. I think we can go further maybe. Okay, let's wait and see, because I don't need to run quickly, just to get you, or to show you all the task, or the window for choosing the task. Okay, if we can go further like this. Okay, let's wait. We can wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, complete. Now, after that, we should have a window, okay, to choose the task from. Okay, we need to see this window. First of all, you can encounter some messages saying it is gathering some information about the machine. Anyway, so here is the window that I am talking about. Here we will see a window that will ask you to choose a task. Here we can see it is already connected to the capture share folder that contains all of the sources. Here we can see the first thing that we'll encounter is this error, script error. We can see that this error is related to some scripting error or something related to this web page, because this is something like a web page. Okay, you will not encounter this error because we have already in the beginning of the lab we have already a fix for this error. We have done it before, but when I recorded this video I was not applying this fix. We have already done or we have fixed this error. Where is this error or how we can fix it? I will show you again. Here we can see if we go to the internet and search for MDT known issues, here is the error script, and error has occurred in the script on this page, and here how you can solve it. We will change or you can add it or you can fix it by registry key or by changing or replacing a file with another file. We have done this before, so here is the error and how you can fix it. Okay, so basically when I record this video I didn't apply this fix. You can simply bypass this error by saying by closing this error and click a couple of times on next. By the way, you will see that when you click a couple of times on next to get the next phase, it will hang sometime. You need to repeatedly click on next. So this is normal because this is due to this script error. So let's see that if we click on this one, okay, or we can close this error. Here we can see we have the window for choosing the task. This is the only thing that you will provide in this capture process or in this process of installing the operating system. Okay, you will not do anything else. This is the first thing, or this is the thing that you will do, and the custom setting.ini will complete all of the other things. Okay, even the computer name. The computer name, it will give it an automatic computer name. Okay, so now we will choose Windows 10 Pro 22H2. Okay, this is the thing that we will choose, and then him next. As you can see here, it is hanged somehow. We need to click a couple of times so it will pass. You need to click repeatedly on the next a couple of times. After choosing the task, it will begin the process of installing the operating system. It will begin partitioning the hard disk of the machine, and then it will begin installing the Windows operating system. And after finishing that, it will reboot, and then the next phase will come to install the programs that we have already configured in the task, like PowerShell and so on. So this is basically what we do. We tell him a couple of things or a couple of times next, and then here we can see it will install the operating system, and then it will begin applying the image or begin installing the operating system. This will take a couple of time. If you can see, it will take about it depends upon the machine itself, the hardware and the connection between the client and the MDT server or the WDS server, the same. It's currently now working with the MDT. Okay, so now we can see 65%, 90%, 94%. Then we can see here that it has already finished. So we can see here now it's installing the operating system. After that we will see a reboot. Okay, this is the next phase. So now we have partially implement a section from the custom setting.ini. So this is a part of it will be implemented, and then it will go to the task sequence and begin applying it, and after finishing all of it, it will return back to the custom setting.ini and complete the other section or the last section of the custom setting.ini. So we can wait for a couple of seconds, and if you don't go like this, okay, so now it is rebooted. Okay, and it begin the normal process of Windows. As we can see here, we didn't provide anything. We didn't provide the computer name, we didn't provide the keyboard layout, we didn't provide the time zone, we didn't provide the computer name. All of this is already provided in the custom setting.ini. It will take a couple of minutes until it reboots and configure the Windows. We can see here getting devices ready, and then if we can go further, okay, here we will encounter this just a moment message. It will take a couple of minutes, and then it will begin saying that we have some important setup to do. Okay, will not ask you any questions, and then it will log into the Windows operating system and begin working with the capture Windows 10 task sequence. We have, first of all, remember we need the first line in the task sequence is to set power options to high performance. Remember, these all things will be processed. So after this step, if we go there now, it will log into the Windows by the local administrator password, and then it will begin doing this task sequence. Okay, setting the power mode and then disable driver searching. We have discussed this before. It will do all of these, and then it will begin installing these programs, and we will go step by step. Okay, so now we will go further and continue. So if we can go further like that, okay, now it will begin logging into the operating system using the administrator or the local administrator account, which we have already provided its password in the custom setting.ini. So let's go and continue. If we go there, now this is the welcome, or this is the animation welcome or welcome screen animation. You can disable this kind of animation from the group policy, and I have already done this in all of my labs to disable this welcome screen animation. It will take some time. Every user, or every time you create a user on your Windows operating system, especially a new user, you will encounter this animation. So I prefer it to disable it because this will delay the login of the new user to his machine. Okay, so let's wait and continue. If you can go there, okay, now if you can go further, now the first thing we will encounter here that we have already connected to our DHCP, and now we are accessing the internet. So this the DHCP, we have already communicated with the DHCP and got an IP address, and we can get to the internet, but we didn't join the domain yet. Okay, so this is the network. Okay, and then after that we will begin the task sequence. Okay, so we'll begin the task sequence shortly after this message disappears. If you can go like this, we go like this. Okay, we can go further. So now let's go further again. Now the task will begin. Capture a Windows image. Okay, and this is the task running Windows 10 Pro x64-bit. So now the real fun begins. Now it will begin processing the task sequence. Okay, we can see here this is edge. This is not the edge that we will intend, or this is not the edge that we have already configured in the capture task sequence. This is an old version of Microsoft Edge. The one that we have already configured in the MDT capture task sequence is a new one, so it will replace the old one. Okay, so now we have the process of gathering, or this is the task. Now we can see it has already processed all of the other things, and now it is working, or it will begin installing the different programs, NetFrame, and after that we will install a lot of things. We can see, for example, here that NetFrame will take some time. NetFrame 3.5. We can go further, and it will go after that to other programs. Let's go further. Okay, now install Visual C. Okay, so we can see here that in this it had already processed the high performance. All of these are done, but you can see it because these are registry keys, and this is done all through the command line. Okay, so we will not see it. Okay, or we will not see anything displayed. Okay, but here it reached this one and begin installing NetFrame, and we can see this. It is displayed in the display, or in our or we can see it through the MDT displayed message. Okay, so we can see it will begin install NetFrame, then Visual C, the NetFrame, and it will begin processing all of these things. It will stop at this one, suspend the task sequence. It will stop the task sequence because we need to do some manual things on this machine. So let's continue with our video. we can see it will install Visual C, okay, and then install PowerShell 7. This is basically, and then install CM Trace, okay, and then a restart will be done, okay. So we can see basically the task is going smoothly without any problems. We will restart and then we will continue. If we can go there or see after the restart, we should, here we will suspend the task sequence. Why we should suspend the task sequence or stop the task sequence? Because maybe you need to do something to the Windows operating system. We all know that MDT is an basically some scripting tools that will help you to customize your Windows operating system and customize the installation of programs. Anyway, if you don't, or if you see that all of these scripts are not enough and you need to do something manually to your Windows operating system, then you can suspend the task sequence, do the manual change that you need, and then complete the task sequence. After that, your image will be taken for the operating system with the automatic changes that you have done and the manual changes that you have done. So let's see what I mean by that. Let's go further and see what I mean, why we should suspend the task sequence. If we go tell him restart, and then we will, again, we have login again to the operating system. Okay, we will see that if we go further, before that, I think here, let me see here what I have encountered here. Okay, here I think we didn't reach this suspend task sequence. We have already reached the CM trace, and then a restart is done. We need to install the Edge, and then we will begin removing some Windows built-in applications like Solitaire and Xbox. These two scripts will remove some built-in Windows applications, and then a restart will be done, and then we will suspend the task sequence. So let's go and do that. And before all of these, if you can see here in this task sequence, there is some WSOS updates. It will communicate with the WSOS and get some updates. So here we see searching for updates. After finishing that, it will begin. If you can go further, okay, now it will begin installing the Edge. Okay, and then if we go a little bit further, okay, Edge, okay, and then it will remove provisioned applications. This is the next step. Remove provisioned applications and remove applications. If you go further, remove application, all of these two steps will remove built-in Windows applications like Solitaire, like Xbox applications. We have seen these scripts before, and this is very simple. It will remove some unneeded Windows built-in applications. Okay, so we can go further, and then after that, okay, remove the applications. I think we will take, if we can go further, remove the applications, and then it should restart at the end. It will begin restarting at the end. Okay, so this is the first video. Let me continue and give you the other one. Okay, so a restart has been done already, and then we should suspend the task sequence. So a restart, if we go there, remember, after finishing removing the provisioned applications and the remove application, a restart should be done. Okay, so this what is already the PC is doing. It will restart, and then we can go like this, and then we will go, and then we will go, and then here we can see something a little bit different, or something a little bit here we are, it should log in automatically, but if for any reason, it should log in automatically, of course, but if it didn't log in automatically, you can provide the password. We have already typed it in the custom setting.ini, but I think it will not ask. But if it does, then you can provide the password if for any reason it didn't do this automatically. Okay, we can see there is two accounts. I think it has duplicated the accounts, or it has made two accounts. Anyway, So we'll put the password and then login. Okay, and then we should begin, or you will see the suspend task sequence. Okay, and I will show you why we should suspend the task sequence. Let me show you all. Okay, so we will see a little bit of an icon. Okay, suspend the task sequence. This is the first thing we can see. It will give you this icon. Okay, resume task sequence. Why should suspend task sequence? For example, we can see this is the Windows Store, the icon at the taskbar, the Windows Store. The applications in the Windows Store should be up to date. Okay, the Windows Store applications. What are the Windows Store applications? For example, let me show you all. If you have the alarm clock, for example, application, or the Paint 3D application, all of these are applications that are related to the Windows Store. So we need to update these applications. We need to open the Windows Store and tell it to update these applications, or the built-in needed applications on the Windows, like for example the alarm clock, like the Paint 3D. All of this we should tell the Windows Store to get updates for these applications. This will not be done using the WSOS or any other utility. You should do this from the Windows Store. So let me show you all how we can do that. Okay, so we will open the Windows Store application. First of all, even you can open the start menu and begin organizing it. This will be taken as an image. So you can open the start menu, and then you can begin removing the unnecessary tiles from the menu itself. Okay, and this is a good thing because this will be taken as an image. And then we open the Windows Store. Here you go, and then we'll tell him, we can see like this one. If we tell him again, let me show you a little bit of thing here. Okay, we will go there and tell him click on it, download and updates. This will uh, update the Windows built-in applications. Let me show you all something here. If we go like this, okay, so here are the applications that will be updated. You will get download and updates, then get updates. These are all applications that are built in the Windows. We can see Microsoft Photos, Windows Calculator, Windows Camera, Mail and Calendar. All of these should be updated through the Windows Store. This is not done using the WSOS. So this is why you can suspend the task sequence and do this manual task. This will not be done using scripting. If there is a script to do so, you are welcome to do that, but I don't think there is a script to update Windows Store applications. Anyway, so this will be done. It will take some time. As we can see here, all of these are done. Okay, downloading, updating, downloading. Okay, so all of this is done. After finishing that, you can resume your task. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, continue, and then the window will flicker sometimes, but don't worry, this is not an issue. So after finishing that, okay, so after finishing that, you can enable the task sequence again. So we'll go to the other video. This is the third video. Here we have already finished the Windows Store update. Now we can resume the task and continue. Let's see where we have reached here. We have reached in our task. We have already now we are going to further to uh, communicate, or this is the section. Before that, it will communicate with the WSOS, it will get updates, and then it will restart, and then it will begin, after installing the Windows update, it will clean up the Windows installation update files through this script, and then it will run a script called deployment bunny script. This is basically to clean up before sysprep, as we can see it from its name, and then this line, or this is a program to help an operation, or it will prepare the PC before the sysprep. So all of these, this script and this script and this script, will prepare the PC before sysprep. It will clean up unnecessary files so the sysprep process will be done smoothly. After that, after this program, a sysprep will be done, and then the computer will be restarted. Okay, but before the restart, it will disable BitLocker, it will enable drive searching. So after doing all of these, a sysprep, or after this line a sysprep will be done, and then these two lines will be done, and then a restart will be done. After the restart is done, the custom setting.ini will begin the capture process, and then it will shut down the machine. So let's see the process. Here we can see resume the task, and then a restart is done. We have seen this, and then logging in. Let me see something here. So again, you need to provide the local administrator password, and then the task will begin. As we can see, the cleanup is beginning, and then the deployment of bunny script can continue. It will take some time until the bunny script is done. Okay, it will take a lot of time actually, because it do a lot of cleanup processes, so the sysprep will be done without any errors. Okay, so we can see that, and after the bunny script at the end, okay, so the bunny script still, it is still done. Okay, so let's go to the other video. Okay, this is the video. Now let's continue. So let's go again. Here, execute the sysprep. So here we can see this is the section for executing the sysprep. After the sysprep is done, two registry keys will be implemented to enable disable BitLocker and enable drive searching. So this is it. And then at the end, the last phase, a restart will be done, and then we will be booted again to the MDT, and then create WIM or capturing an image will be done. So this is basically how our capture process is done. And after creating the WIM file or creating the image, it will be saved to the capture share folder in the capture folder. So this is basically our capture process. In the upcoming video, we will take this image and see how we can deploy it to a large number of PCs through another MDT task sequence. We will call it deployment task sequence. Hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.